All right, everybody, we have a pretty special collection of Ferraris here at Pebble Beach, and I wanted to give you guys a run through of every car that is on this Ferrari lawn. We have the new 812 Competizione there, which is super cool to see, but it doesn't end there.
Hello.
Hello, YYZ Curator.
What's
up? Not too much. And there's Cars by K-Ho. Check out VHOMotors, by the way. I'm plugging that right here in this vlog. Be sure to check them out. Great company in Toronto for auctioning cars. Well, let's have a walkthrough of all these amazing Ferraris. Starting at the front of the Ferrari lineup here, some very rare pre-50s Ferraris, which are extremely rare. Ferrari didn't make too many cars before then. We have the 166 Intersport Corsa and the 166 MM over here, a couple of the original Ferrari race cars. So you can only imagine just how valuable these things are. And the lineup just keeps getting crazier from there. And this is a particular early 50s car still to me. This is a 212 Export. Now, this looks very different from many other Ferraris around here because it's actually designed by a different company. It is not Pininfarina like most Ferraris. This is a Vignale bodied Ferrari, so that's why it has the different looks to it. But it's quite interesting to see here on the lawn. And just behind that, some more incredible old race cars. We've got here the 750 Monza, 250 GT Berlinetta. We've got a 335S, 250 Testarossa. And at the end of the line, the 250 GT Berlinetta, the Passo Lungo spec. You can see that this is race ready as all the headlights still have protective covers over them. And here, another very special Ferrari race car with an interesting story, because the reason I actually know about this is because this is another Ontario resident, my home province back in Canada. This is the Dino 206S. And why this car is so interesting is because this actually did burn down at the 1966 24 Hours of Nürburgring and was fully rebuilt and now has Classice certification from Ferrari themselves. So that is a very cool classic Ferrari race car. Not as well known, but it's really cool. Almost looks like a 330 P4. And there's one of my favorite looking classic Ferraris. That is the 250 GT Lusso. Absolutely love the fastback style on this. I think it looks incredible. And speaking of fastback looking Ferraris, there's a nice 275 GTB beside it. Now over here we have a couple of 250 GT Berlinettas. Very nice. And then probably the most well-known historical Ferrari racing car, the Ferrari 250 GTO. Of course, the 250 GTO, before that 300 SLR sold earlier this year, was the record holder for the most expensive car sold at public auction for 74 million USD. And that was about 4 years ago, I believe. So we can only imagine how much these are worth nowadays, the 250 GTO. And this one looks really good in this blue with yellow stripe paint spec. And here's a car that we saw earlier during Car Week, the Ferrari 275 Nart Spider. Of course, an incredibly rare 8-figure Ferrari. And right next to it is the incredible 1971 Ferrari 512M, a classic Le Mans racer. This car would have raced against the likes of the Porsche 917K and other great Le Mans races of the early 70s. And just have a look from the side profile here.
Jacob, stand right here. You have to just this.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. That looks amazing. And here is an incredibly special Ferrari Formula One race car. This is a 312 T3 from 1978. This one is especially important to me because this is driven by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the legendary Canadian racer from my home country. So to see his car on display here is pretty special. He is one of the all-time cult favorite Formula One drivers. Of course, one of Enzo's favorites too. So it's only fitting to have one of his amazing Formula One cars here on display at Pebble Beach. Just have a look underneath for the engine. These old Formula One designs, no safety involved whatsoever, just pure performance is what they were looking for.
Actually, no.
Here's another amazing Ferrari Formula One car. This is a 1991 F191 driven by Alain Prost, four-time Formula One world champion. He is 4th all-time on the wins list of Formula One with, I believe it's 51 wins that he has. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But only Vettel, Schumacher, and Hamilton have more wins than Alain Prost. So pretty cool, again, to see another Legends Ferrari Formula One car here on display at Pebble Beach. You can just see from the Gilles Villeneuve car that we just looked at how much F1 cars advance over the years. It looks so much different. Okay, so we have a pretty cool like semicircle here of Ferraris. We've got this F512M finished in this really nice shade of blue, almost like a Zero California, but I think it might be a little darker. So someone can let me know in the comments what the exact color is of this F512M. Got the dark blue 456, 360 Challenge, 360 Spider. There's a black Ferrari F355 Spider, the 550 Maranello, and here is its convertible counterpart, the 550 Berchetta, which is pretty rare to see. This one's also nice to see, gated manual. We've got the Ferrari F50 next to it, so get a look at the back of that. And next to that is very special classic Ferrari sports car, raced at Le Mans, raced at Daytona. This is a 1994 Ferrari F333 SP. You can just see how extreme it is and the crazy downforce this thing would generate with such an amazing rear wing. You have a look at the interior. Very tiny, compact cockpit, Williams harnesses.
Wait, and look, it's on the other side.
That is a mega Ferrari, guys. All right, the next row of cars here. We've got the classic Enzo Ferrari. We actually haven't seen too many of these at Car Week, which is pretty rare to say, but we finally got one on camera. Got the Challenge Stradale, which is one of my personal favorites. And over here, we have the yellow Ferrari 575 Super America. Got the big red Brute, the 612 Scaglietti, that massive V12 Grand Tourer. And we've got a couple more cars down the line, 430 Spider, 599, and all the way down there is a nice Grigio Silverstone 430 Scuderia. And here is probably the rarest Ferrari production car we have on display here at Pebble Beach. This is the Ferrari Sergio, one of 6 open top Ferrari that was designed and named after Sergio Pininfarina, who is the head designer of Ferrari. There's the badge right there. Pininfarina is obviously the design house responsible for many Ferraris. You can see that beautiful interior and these sort of cream and burgundy seats. Really nice. Come around to the back and have a look at the back. Very unique, almost like a coach built looking car, but it is uniquely Ferrari, so not coach built, but it definitely has that look. Really nice. And a couple of special Ferrari 599s here. Here we've got the Ferrari 599 GTO, probably my personal favorite of all these special V12 flagship cars from Ferrari, like over the TDF and the Competizione 812. And right next to it we have the even rarer counterpart of it, the SA Aperta, essentially a convertible 599 GTO. So you see the soft top up here, which is actually really cool, has a little mini prancing horse stitched into the roof of the SA Aperta. And there's the back of it. You can see the difference between the two cars, the soft top SA Aperta and the closed top 599 GTO there. Just behind those 599s, we have an incredible track-focused Ferrari. This is the FXXK, not just the FXXK, this is the EVO package. So this has even more aero bits than the standard FXXK, which is the track version of the LaFerrari, but you can see on the EVO, it has sort of this shark fin look to it, which fills into that rear wing. Of course, on the normal FXXK, all you really have is just the slits on the side here. It doesn't actually connect through the middle. So this one just improves the downforce really over the standard FXXK, as if it wasn't already enough already. It just gets that much better. Just behind the FXXK EVO, we have an incredible Ferrari Monza SP2 and this classic heritage livery, of course, with that stripe that runs across the entire hood. Now, what signifies the SP2 is that it is a two-seater. So this Monza could be spec'd as a one-seater, which is the SP1. So this entire area where the passenger sits here would be covered on the SP1. But in this case, this is an SP2, so it is a two-seater speedster from Ferrari. It is street legal too, but it's also an absolute track beast. And finally, we've reached the flagship Ferrari V12 hypercar of the 2010s, the LaFerrari. This is also the Aperta version, which can be signified here. Anything that has this 70th anniversary badge on it, if you're looking at a LaFerrari, means it's an Aperta. So the top can come off. Aperta is Italian for open. So that's what that signifies. And here's a car that you will only see really in North America. This is the F60 America from Ferrari. It's built off the base of a Ferrari F12, but it's a special 1 of 10 Ferrari that was sold to signify the 60th anniversary of Ferrari in the United States. And there's only 10 of them. It's very hard to see inside, but the cool thing about this is the seats are actually, the driver's seat and the passenger seat are two different colors. You get blue and red seats with this cool little stars and stripe going through the middle of it. So a lot of unique features on this car. Again, 1 of only 10 in the world too. So extremely rare to see one of these. curb right here. They, you want to follow this path all the way up. comes the SP3 Daytona, guys. Get a better look at it than we did the other day as it drives by here.